It's not often that you hear about a beta coming out these days, and it actually delays the game if they need it, so they can fix what problems they have. Maybe if some more games did this, we would live in a better world. The kind of world where most video games are worth your money. Where games don't continue to rise in cost, and where EA learns from their mistakes and launches Battlefield 6 in a good state. Heh. Yeah, that's never gonna happen though, so let's talk about this game. If for whatever reason you're unfamiliar with this game and this channel, welcome! Please subscribe so I can justify spending more time making these shitposts I call review videos. Now, as for what Killing Floor 3 is, it's a game where you... Yep, that's pretty much it. This is the third game in the series, in case you didn't read the title, and as per tradition, overhauled the graphics to an insane degree in a lot of ways. The game looks a lot nicer, with textures and artistic style being more refined. However, the real treat is the designs of the enemies. Oh my god, they look great! From the foreskin face all the way to the cyborg chainsaw massacre. Each enemy has been given a new coat of paint and just looks so damn good. It's hard to look back at the older designs in some ways. The idea was to make things gross, but still cool. They also added a gore system which allows for Zeds to live despite losing an arm or leg, so from the standpoint of a smooth brain like myself who is easily entertained, it is indeed very cool.
Nice.
The maps are a bit of a controversial topic for me. These are cool maps, don't get me wrong. They all have some great detail, and I don't feel like any map is outright worse than the other. My issue is that they all lack identity. The devs chose to use a lot of red lighting on these maps. Like, a lot of red. Like, Jesus Christ. They all feel very industrial in many ways, except for the sewers map, which is, well, you know. Looking back on the first two games, the first game also had a few maps that might look similar from the outside, but clearly have a distinct identity to them. Whereas the second game just said, fuck it, just add whatever sounds fun. Hence why that game has a grimy prison map, and a Christmas-themed map where you will literally descend into hell. It doesn't matter because it's all supposed to be fun. Here, it just feels like the map designers were too afraid to fully commit to a distinct look or feel for the map. Still good maps for the most part though. Lastly, everything else has this sort of semi-near future look to it. For example, the iconic SCAR assault rifle still looks like a SCAR, but has received some new upgrades. I say upgrades because I genuinely like the style and will happily fight you about it. That's right, asshole. Comment your nearest McDonald's and we'll brawl it out in the parking lot this Saturday between 8 and 9 p.m. so I can get home before my mom's curfew. Anyways, what is distinct is that soundtrack though. Hit it! Yeah, I think we can all agree that this soundtrack slaps harder than Will Smith. As for everything else, I think it's fine. But I wouldn't really know because I just turned all the other sound effects to 10 and maximized the music to really feel it while I shoot 556 at 600 RPM. You start and end each match in the same way because this game has as much depth to it as a puddle. However, that same puddle might have a few dog turds in it that I can stick on the end of a stick and chase my friends around with. So it can be pretty fun. The core of the game has stayed the same, where you kill for money and use said money to buy cool guns so you can kill more, and then later shower the boss in a bukkake of liquid green. This game added a dodge mechanic, which is pretty cool, as it forces you to dodge the new enemy attacks that were added to each enemy. They also allowed each player to use the various gadgets in the game, so there's no excuse as to why you don't have the goddamn zipline activated, Jared! The new specialist special abilities are nice and all feel very powerful with their own respective skill tree. There are so many skills now, so much so that unlocking them actually feels like it takes forever because leveling up is still so fucking slow. In short, there are a lot of things to praise about the new gameplay mechanics, but there is also a lot to criticize. For example, there are significantly less weapons, less Z-types, less maps, less specialist classes, no alternate game modes, and no mid-match objectives. I will give credit where credit is due, however, since the developers committed so hard to the Stalker Zed, the naked woman who goes invisible, that I haven't seen one in the game because they are now permanently invisible. Like I said, as deep as a puddle. Let's talk about the guns first. There aren't many of them. Killing Floor 2 launched with 64 weapons. Killing Floor 3 only has 36. The idea is that you would customize those weapons to form many slightly different loadouts of the same gun. While the customization is fine, and you let me name all my guns stupid shit that people who spectate me can see, family, I ultimately found myself creating one, maybe two variants of a weapon, and that would be it. It meant that I stopped caring about shooting the items on the map for resources sooner, and I ended up using the same better weapons that I had created each match. Maybe you could create many variants with the different damage types if you are a fat, sweaty meta build creator, but I would instead recommend that you go outside more often. The damage types themselves are strange. Since you can only have two primary weapons and a single pistol at all times, trying to make a balanced build of weapons that all deal specific damage types to specific Zeds to kill them more efficiently just didn't seem worth it either, since at the end of the day, you're still doing this. Although now, they use sound bullets and massive subwoofers as weapons that somehow deal sound-based damage, so I guess the developers haven't fired everyone who eats glue and still uses Internet Explorer. As for the game modes, you heard me right, there are none. Just 5 waves and a boss. Even the weekly game mode is nothing more than just tougher enemies and either more or less gadget use. It's lame, and it makes each match boring as you can pretty much hold up in the same spot all the time because there will never be a reason to leave. You can't even host a match on your own or just wait for players to join. Although the long wait times might just be a result of my prehistoric internet connection strung together by apes.
Listen boys, don't waste your money on child support. Buy beer and a fucking jet ski instead.
Finally, the maps. We just simply need more of them, with more identity. These games are very serious. So it makes sense that there's a map where the main objective is to prepare Santa's sleigh and then kill him because he is now a giant fat zombie. Killing Floor 3 has none of these, and desperately needs more. Quickly. I don't care if the maps are half-heartedly ported over, just add more. Please. Hopefully you know the drill with these games by now when it comes to story, and if you don't, here's a quick recap. The game has something close to a story that you can follow by interacting with audio logs and holding a button down occasionally. It's a very serious story, for very serious men, in a very serious game. So what is it about? I don't know, I'm not a fucking nerd. I bought this game to kill zombies, and that's what I did. I completed the story objectives for a gun sticker. I don't know if I would necessarily say this game is good or bad. For $40, it sits right on the fence for me. Right between stupid fun and boring. The new things they have are all great fun, but we lost some of the things that were fun in the process. I hope the direction changes rapidly from the developers taking this game far too seriously, and goes in the more anything goes direction for the future. The roadmap for the next year does look good, it's just going to take until next year for those to come through. I would probably wait on this one, or get it on sale. I think it's a fun game, a game with a lot of problems, but still fun. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Remember Harambe and embrace monkey. I'll see you